Welcome to Konami News. I'm Dave Cox, producer of Castlevania Lords of Shadow, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit more about the game, so you can find out what's in store in October when the game's released. Basically, this game isn't related to any previous Castlevania games before, so it doesn't fall into their timeline. So it's a separate game, and it's a reboot and reinvention of the franchise. You play the part of Gabriel Belmont, who's the hero of the story. What's happened is a spell has been cast on the Earth which prevents the spirits of the dead from leaving, and Gabriel is sent to investigate. His wife has been recently murdered too by the evil and the chaos that's in the land, and he discovers that the Lords of Shadow are behind it all, and that they each hold the piece of a relic called the God Mask. And Gabriel needs to find this relic because apparently it has the power to bring back the dead. And so his motivation in the game is to find this relic and bring back his wife back from the dead. Obviously there's a bit more to it than that. Some hidden things, lots of surprises and secrets. So it's a very kind of epic story that we're telling of Gabriel's quest. The game basically is a 3D action-adventure game with intense combat. We've basically taken the core tenets of what Castlevania was about, which was lone warrior battling supernatural creatures with a whip. And we've given Gabriel a really interesting weapon called the Combat Cross, which is very similar to the whip that the Belmonts had in the previous games, but it's somewhat unique. So the Combat Cross itself can be used as a chain whip, which is the traditional weapon of the Belmonts, but it can also be upgraded, so you can get things like different attachments. For example, a stake attachment for staking vampires. The whip itself allows Gabriel to perform specific combo attacks on enemies, and when you defeat enemies you get experience points, and these experience points are kind of like your currency to purchase new moves and combination moves for Gabriel. And Gabriel's able to use the Combat Cross to traverse the landscape, climbing up walls, swinging across gaps. You know, the whip is really a multifunctional kind of weapon device, so that gives it a kind of unique twist that we haven't seen in a Castlevania game before. Yeah, so in the previous games, obviously the games were 2D, but in this game we have the 3 dimensions, so we allow players to explore the world, and so, you know, certain puzzles will crop up, so they'll have to find a key, or they'll have to find a certain item to activate a lock system. We have kind of brain teaser type puzzles as well, where players will have to, you know, use their brain. We give players clues, and we allow players to buy the solution using their experience points, but if they buy the solution, they won't gain the experience necessary. So these kind of things are intermingled within the levels. So there's a mixture of combat, exploration, platforming, and solving puzzles. That's basically what the game's about, in a kind of dark, gothic atmosphere. The game's coming out on October the 7th. So players will finally be able to get their hands on the new 3D Castlevania game with its dark atmosphere, and they can discover the secrets of the Belmonts and why the Belmonts are hunting the creatures of the night.